What the hell's a butt sock?
I don't know. I've never used that term before.
Stock! As the stock of the gun!
Put a sock on it too.
A butt sock! And welcome to another edition of Reality Skewed Gamers. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties there. Not sure what was going on, but hey, we're live. We're back. With me, as always, is my partners in crime, my homie from another Romy, Affinity, and joining us,
Still bearded wonder.
Yeah, still bearded wonder Grande Patrana, who is he was joining us tonight. Got a lot of good stuff on the stream. What's going on, fellas?
Hey, busy week. Yeah, that's all pretty much I can say right now.
That's it. That's all you can say.
I don't have the energy to spend on introductions at this point. I have to save it for the stream.
You don't have the energy for introductions. Oh god. Everything's going good, man. Going good. It's a wonderful day in the world, and we're here to talk about this sweet game that we're all quasi addicted to.
Yeah, pretty much. But this Jack and Cokes for everybody out there. We got Bimatsu, my homie, Shadowvel. We got who else we got in the channel?
You got Jennifer's back.
No, our one female viewer. We love her to death. Thank you, Jen, for being here. We got Joe Buck. We got who else?
Good old Maurice.
Maurice.
You know, we love our female fan so much. We brought her into the guild.
That's right.
Nice. You like her so much. Shadow Val is here.
Yeah.
She's awesome, and she needs an awesome place to hang out.
That's right.
There you go. So
we've been getting her
Bastila is here.
Up to date Bastila. There we go. She said this game is okay. Ah! That's great. Yeah, it's just okay. It's okay for them and okay for you to play. All right, so you see, welcome everybody to the stream. As you see on the bottom there, we've got the ticker going for information that we'll be discussing tonight.
She said, "Bring on the sausage fest."
You see why we wanted her in the guild?
Seriously. That's hilarious.
Well, Grande, she's an ex army vet like me, so she's got the same mentality.
And me too.
Yes. Yeah. So
we got it going on here.
Because I dropped a Bravo Foxtrot today, and she knew what that meant, and it was awesome. So we could share the same lingo. And
that's not very hard, is it?
No. Well,
you guys are BFs now.
No, no Bravo. Not exactly. Bravo. That means best friends. That's
that's not what that means.
Yes,
not even close.
The bourbon went down the wrong chute.
You know, you gotta love it. Only someone who can invent the term butt sock could think that Bravo Foxtrot means. They're best friends.
Kind of things now.
I can't even fucking
Blue Falcon.
Oh God!
He
did it again.
I know. How does he do that again? How dare you, sir? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
You see why I have to save my energy for the stream now?
Well, you didn't have to do very much. You just had to turn a total army colloquialism on its ear.
Oh shit! God damn it, twin!
Look at that! You're making him cry.
And this time, at least we have video of it.
Damn it! Fuck! Oh my God! Woo! Okay. Oh shit!
You
Way
okay,
to start
Ranger?
the stream, yes. God damn it! That's not what it means.
You know, just
God.
You know, if Finity was gonna be in the army, he definitely would be a 68 whiskey. Because only somebody who's a 68 whiskey would be able to come up with something like that. By the way, that's a combat medic, just so you know, Finity. I'm not
Okay.
saying. I'm not saying any. I'm not
Oh.
saying.
I am fine with that.
Okay. Okay. Hopefully, we can get Ranger back on topic.
Oh, I can't
If not,
fucking breathe.
if not, we'll just.
Woo! This is what happened to me with the butt sock shit, man.
If not, we'll just have to continue to stream
He's
without him.
so innocent. It's
I know it.
unbelievable.
I know it. He's so. It is a little adorable. It's what's so adorable what he doesn't know. That's the part that's amazing.
God.
Oh no, Jennifer. Uh, oh,
Oh,
he's making
okay.
comments in here. Oh no,
I don't know if I want to read them.
I don't know.
Oh God.
You guys would laugh. You guys would laugh. I would have to say, oh no.
Oh no.
Uh,
Woo! What were we doing?
we
Yeah.
we were
Are
we were
you able
we
to
were
load
we
the-
were
the-
introing ourselves and we were saying hi to all the people in chat.
Yeah, we were doing that, and
Peter-
then
Pete Barron. There's a couple other guys in here. Andres Allen is in here. We
Holy
got
shit.
John Wilkinson is in here.
Oh. Okay, I'm
Are
good
you able
now.
to load our the picture?
Demertio is in here. We
Well,
got
I
a lot
have
of
the picture. Yeah, I did have it in the intro when we were playing the song, but I just want to bring it back up. The good point,
Yeah.
Finn. This is one of the players from our guild, Goldberg, and he is
Goldberger.
I'm sorry, apologies. And that's his little baby, and he is doing the right thing as a papa, and that is showing them the reality skewed.
She is our youngest gamer.
She is,
and our youngest fan.
That's amazing. So he sent that picture in, and it was amazing. So if you guys have stuff like that, send it in. Just got the hugest smiling kick out of that until Finn said best friends. God, oh Lord. In the annals of our, when we put together a compilation of this show, I swear we're gonna have some funny ass shit to talk about.
Stay on target.
Yes.
Stay on target.
Okay. So
the target is always moving when I'm around. That's all that matters.
Pretty much, man. Jesus. All right. So what's up first, Finadoodle?
All right. Well, one thing for the Stream Ranger, I'm getting onto my other cam really quick, so you'll want to switch me out here.
Okay.
I'm working on that. So just so you guys know, I'm still in Texas in my hotel, and yeah.
And we can hear it too.
Yeah, I know. I turned it off now. You should be able to see me.
Yeah, I've switched cameras.
Okay. So I'm trying to find better ways so you guys can at least hear me. The video might be a little laggy, but hopefully now the audio is good.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So.
Okay. Okay. So what's new in the game?
Are you composed now?
What's new in the game?
How are things in the clean world?
All right. So the one thing I want to start off with is actually giving props to CG. So last week, I went on what I call a rant, but it really wasn't a rant to the level of Ranger. But we discussed how all we need as players every now and then is a little bit of information here and there. Outside of the devs giving us stuff, there's always the minds going on and people trying to get the edge on different things. But it's always nice to have a group of devs that are involved with the community, always making sure they're communicating and giving us information. Whether or not it's truly relevant or important, or whether it's really a difference maker or not, isn't really the point. It's the fact that at least you're communicating and giving us new information and telling us about what's going on with the game, so we're not left in the dark. After we did our video, again, kind of like what we like to do with Real Sith of Genius, we'll take credit whenever we can, even though we may not be responsible. But after our stream last week, EA Jesse and CG Cozy Spoon actually did updates onto the post and the developer updates. So if you guys go there, you might see that the date is still listed as like October 6th or October 7th. But if you actually go into it, they edited it twice, with the latest edit being on the 17th, so just a couple of days ago. And they put out a lot more information about the raid. Some of it was already kind of figured out through the data mine. So it's not necessarily new information, but it becomes more official information. They gave us more information about things we actually care about, like the cost, about the fact that they're going to be two different sources, how much it's going to cost, how many points you're going to get for the guild leaderboard, and we'll discuss those a little bit more in detail. But I wanted to start off by thanking CG and EA Jesse for kind of going that extra step now to communicate with the players, and I really hope it's something that they keep up moving forward.
I give him credit. I got to say that I'm sure I can speak for everybody. The leveling is monotonous, but it's been as less painful than 70 to 80. You've done some really good things with what they've added.
I see you're still at level 80.
I haven't been pushing the envelope. I mean, I could. I get my guild points. I do everything I need to do, but I mean, I just haven't as much time. Me and Finn have both been just, working.
Hey, I'm 81. Don't lump me into your 80 nonsense.
I didn't know there was a race.
It's not a race.
There's always a race.
But I will tell you, it does open up other challenges. But we have one guy in our guild that's 82, and those level 9 light side challenges, light side battles, they look sick hard, and that will lead into our next segment. But yeah, the little bit of a rude awakening on the level 9 light side opponents. For a guy I would consider that has a very, very good roster, and he's in Team Skunk Omega, which is Obi Cries. And
Obi.
It's pretty sick how troublesome he said it was.
Yeah, it was usually in the Discord. And if you guys have questions, feel free to shoot us questions in our Discord. We are in the Rebel Discord. Also, in the live stream, if you have questions, go ahead and start popping them up. We'll collect those up. Wait, someone just said Lampshade in the channel. Is he here?
Yeah,
oh my God.
Lampshade is here.
Who let him in? Damn it. It's been so quiet and peaceful. And yeah. So, all right. So, what do we want to get into first? Finn?
Okay, so let's start breaking down some of the information that they gave us in the forum post.
Okay, let's go do that.
So let's do a little comparison here of some of the basic things. So we kind of expected that there's going to be a similar tier system with the new raid to what there was with the rank core. With the rank core, you had all the different tiers going from 1 through 6, and then you had tier 7, which was considered the heroic. Based on the description here, it looks like AAT is only going to have 2 different raids. It's going to have a normal difficulty and a heroic difficulty. It's in a tier 7. So it looks like the AAT raid is designed primarily for high-level players without too many low-level player options. It's the normal difficulty, as they call it, is going to be 6 stars or higher. It's going to have a daily refresh with 5 attempts. So all of that is similar to the Rancor raid.
Right.
You'll get 5 attempts, like I said. You're going to have a launching cost of 80,000 tickets. So if you remember that right now you have the Guild Bank coins, those are going to be used for the Rancor. They're introducing a new currency, which will be the Guild Bank tickets. And you'll earn tickets the same way that you do the coins. But instead of it being 50,000 for the tier 6, which is what the equivalent is for the normal difficulty, it's going to be 80,000 tickets. So it's going to be roughly around like 1 less raid every 5 or so. So what do you guys think about that as the standard for normal difficulty?
I think that's about right. I don't have any problem with that. I mean, it's conjecture, but go ahead, Grande.
I think we're reading a lot into it. I think you've read a lot into it just here. You've made a bunch of assumptions, which I'm not sure about. The first assumption is that somehow we miraculously get 30K worth of tickets at the same rate that we get 30K worth of coins. And I think that's an assumption that can't be made from the information given.
Well, what's your understanding then?
My understanding is I have no freaking clue how we get tickets.
Well, thanks for nothing, Grande. What did we bring you here for?
So, but we have no idea how we get tickets. There have been a lot of different ideas about tickets and how they happen. One thing is, if you were going to have 2 kinds of currency, how would you get 2 kinds of currency? You could split energy based on regular energy and cantina energy. So in other words, you'd have to spend Cantina energy to get tickets, and you'd have to spend light side, dark side energy to get coin.
Yeah, but what about for the daily activities? And would they just lump those all in together still for the
I
guild?
I mean, daily activities are completely different. Daily activities are daily activity. That's where you get the guild currency, not the guild bank coin. Guild bank
Mm.
coin is what is used to start a raid. Guild currency is what you get by doing daily activities.
Well, I'm just saying, would that change as well? Is what I'm asking.
That would change. I don't think so. I think that that's going to stay the same. There's another speculation, which is you have to do more Rancor raids in order to get more tickets, so you could do more AAT raids.
Interesting.
So the more you Rancor, the more you AAT. Kind of an interesting thought there.
So with that, the reason I was saying the way I said it is because in a previous post on October 6th, he said that now guilds will earn 2 types of currency when completing their activities each day, 1 for each raid. Which means that maybe the ratio will be different, but I don't think there's going to be any association with unless it's an additional one. But you're not going to need to do Rancor to get AAT, because they said by completing your daily activities each day, you'll get currency. You'll get both currencies.
So, it may be that just regular energy spent, we get guild bank coin, and that by actually doing the daily activity, that's how you get the tickets.
Could be.
Who the frick knows?
Well, they say 1 for each raid, though.
Right.
Unless they change it so guild activities give you both. Well, I mean, the wording could be misleading.
Right now, guild activities give you 0, have nothing to do with guild bank coin. This is what we've had a total re-education process, at least over at a bunch of Team Skunk guilds, which is it does not matter how many PvP battles you do or how many GWs you do. You still have to get your 600 energy done for the daily guild bank coin, regardless of whether it's GW day or it's PvP day or it's challenge day. Now, could it be that the quote unquote daily activity now gives you tickets? Yes, that could easily happen. So the more
they would have to give both, though, based on the wording. That's what I'm saying. The wording on this makes it seem like whatever it is, it's going to give you both.
Now, wouldn't it be terrible if they split it in half, or they split it 2/3, 1/3, or they split it, where basically
you had split it?
Yeah, I mean, they could make it where we actually Rancor raid less.
Maybe. Do you think you can get it? Well, hold on. What do you think? You at the same time that you're doing, let's say you're doing like energy, right? That you get credit for not only the guild banks but the guild tickets.
Maybe.
I mean, that makes so much sense to me.
Or they basically nerf guild bank coin. And if they nerf guild bank coin, that would be sick.
But so here's my problem with that. Based on what they wrote with the AAT raid, it looks like they only mentioned normal and heroic difficulty. So there doesn't seem to be any like tier 5 or tier 4 with this.
Right.
And if you lower the amount of Rancor raids that you can get, that means guilds are going to be accumulating way too much of the other currency and way too slow of the one that they need.
So here's another way they could do it. What if you have to hit tier 7?
Smile Grande here on Candid Camera.
Oh, I'm sure I am. I'm sure I look right now. I took off my hat.
You were leaning back, just looking chill how to do it.
I'm all like looking at my game, looking at like 5 screens at the same time. And I took my hat off, which I never take my hat off.
But no, that's exactly what I think is actually going to happen, Grande. That so guilds will only be getting guild bank coins until they complete tier 7, and once they clear tier 7, then you can actually get the guild tickets, but you get them at the same rate as the guild bank coins, but after you finish tier 7. That's my guess.
I don't know. I have no clue what they're gonna do. I think it's all speculation, and I think that what it means is there's going to be a steep learning curve on whatever it is on re-educating guild members on what the heck they're supposed to do.
Hey, but still in the chat says that if the exclusive raid character is not Obi-Wan, that you're going to eat your hat. So by the end of this month, Grande, you could be eating your hat and
shaving my beard. Yes, I could be eating my hat and shaving my beard. We'll see.
Could be a rough month.
Could be a rough month for old Grande. Grande could end up looking a whole lot more like Lobot instead
Oh
of
no.
instead of looking like Scarif Rebel Pathfinder. That could be a problem.
It's a rebellion. Grande rebels.
So I think we probably the other thing that I want to mention is you said that normal difficulty is 6-star or higher.
Yeah.
We did not talk about intended for level 80, Gear 7,
It's on the ticket.
Mark
Yep.
5 mods.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, here's one of the big things whenever we talk about this is what do we have to compare that to? Go into the Rancor raid like you were getting ready to start a Rancor raid, and let's look at what's intended. If you look at the current tier 6, it says it's intended for level 80, and it's intended for gear 8, and it says that the heroic is intended for gear 9. So the only difference here is that mods have been added to it. So it means potentially it has a similar number of hit points to a tier 6 Rancor raid, but with mods. So it could be highly it could be a huge amount of health pool for a normal AAT raid.
Something to think about.
Sure. Anyway, I messed up. I messed up
makes my head hurt.
Well,
Yeah, so I mean, let me check tier 6. Where's heroic? Checking all this stuff now. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, we don't know enough, so you're definitely right about that aspect. I did figure out the number of hit points on the phase 1 Grievous based on the stuff that they gave.
Yep.
It's like 4.2 million.
4.25 million. Yep.
So it looks like it's double what it is right now for phase 1 of tier 7 Rancor. So it's looking like maybe this one is also going to be about double. That's completely an assumption at this point. But I'm assuming that whatever it is in tier 6 or normal difficulty in AAT raid is going to be about double.
So we did some math on that as well. I kind of looked at that. I sat there and paused it and reround that little animated GIF they have.
Oh, I just broke it down into the frames. I have all the frames, so I just sent that to you.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I did. I just didn't feel like breaking it down. I just kept pausing until I finally figured out what the heck was going on. And so to me, it looks like it's 4.25 mil.
Yep.
I think that if we let's try to relate this to something. If we basically say that a traditional heroic Rancor raid has around 10 mil, as an example, with phase 1 having about 1.8 mil, that means that if we were to say these raids scale at an equal amount, that means
30.
I'm saying on the low end we have about 23.6, but I think my math could be totally wrong, and I would say you should easily consider that should be doubled. And so it is within the wheelhouse that this thing has 47.2 mil worth of damage.
So I think you're probably right. The one concern that I have though is if they make, so obviously they're trying to make this hard, so I hope that they're testing it in order to make sure that the difficulty is appropriate.
Right.
Unlike the Rancor phase, like after phase 1, you're focused on the Rancor. Like there aren't any distractions. So all of the damage that you're doing is focused on the Rancor.
Sure.
In this raid, after even with the first phase, all of the phases require you to attack other things, which is damage not being done to things that actually matter. Like with the AAT, you have the different cannons and the turrets that you have to attack in order to get it to be toppled to do more damage. You have all the little droids that keep on popping up, like the little B1 droids and the random B2 droids and all those kind of things. So so that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping that they're testing this like they're saying they're doing, and it's going to be fair. I'm afraid that if they actually make it that difficult, it might even be difficult for whale guilds. If with that many hit points, plus the amount of extra hit points that need to be divided up against the other things that don't count against the damage.
Totally agree. I think effectively what happened is the they realized that in the Rancor raid they left a loophole and it was a little bit too easy, and it's very possible that the pendulum swung the other way.
Well, yes, but the pendulum only swung to being too easy after they introduced mods. Before the potency became crazy, like Tebow was good, but he wasn't like full raid solo good. He was maybe phase 1 solo good. But mods changed that like completely.
Sure. I think there's some other things that we can look at from these little snapshots that they give us. Are you going to put this up here? Ranger, can you put up the internet where we can actually look at this detail sheet a little bit?
Which sheet are you referring to?
I'm looking at the post from EA Jesse.
It's in the developer updates.
It's in the developer updates.
Give me a moment.
I'll send it. It's this one right here. I put it in chat.
I'm not in chat, so I have to go to the forums and actually look it up. Was it just something?
It's so if you go,
you'll see it on the main forums.
If you go to the forums and then you go to developer updates, it's the one from EA Jesse on October 7th.
Okay, I can put it up in a second.
And then this is because I want to show people what exactly we're talking about and the little gift that we're talking about, because I think that's pretty important. I think there's some other clues in this particular thing that they're showing us. The first one that I'm looking at here is the fact that they're running a full Jedi team with I'm a Gundy lead in the video, which is the character that Finity said should be farmed.
Yeah, I farmed the hell out of him too.
They're also saying they also have Ayla Secura on this team. They also have Yoda on this team, Kit Fisto, and Qui-Gon Jinn. And just from looking at it, those characters are pretty awesomely modded. And the reason why I say that is look at the health and protection on Qui-Gon, for example, and how much protection he has. Those are some pretty insane mods they have on Qui-Gon. The Assassin Master is in here. What up, brother? So I think that that this thing is going to be much more difficult, at least on phase 1. And phase 1 is where they're giving us the most details.
Yeah, I've got it up now.
Okay, it's the only one that has an animated GIF. It's the only one where we show how much damage that that Grievous is doing. You know, you could see here that he hits Qui-Gon for like a crit of like 61 and some change, 61, 41, and then he hits everybody for about 2k damage. It's gonna be pretty sick from one little picture.
I mean, I still think that I'm a Gundy is gonna be good.
Why are we getting feedback?
That's me. Idea. I managed to get my video back up and it's echoing me, but I stopped.
Okay.
Oh, you did.
Okay.
That was me. Okay. So I still think I'm a Gundy is going to be good. I personally am not reading too much into the group compositions, only because they have one that's all Jedi, another one that's all Jawa in that phase 3 animated one.
Yes.
But I think they put them there because you have the bonuses for the squads. So I'm not reading too much necessarily into that particular squad grouping that they have. It's possible, but I guess I'm just not, because I think they're just trying to promote the bonuses that you get.
I don't know. To me, I think that looks like Jedi. It's the same team for the phase 2. And then they're running Jawas in phase 3. And then the phase we know the least amount about, because they're just giving us the intro cutscene, is phase 4. So,
which is exactly my point, because if they were actually doing a raid, and this is tier 7, and you can assume that this is the heroic one because Grievous is level 90 and your characters are 85. So it looks like this is all for tier 7, the heroic tier 7 type, right?
Maybe they're not finished with phase 4 yet. That's why they just give us the cutscene in the beginning.
Well, that's not even phase 4. The picture that they have for phase 2 is the same group that they had in phase 1. Now, either that means that they took the picture at a different time,
Like a different raid, you mean?
Yeah, it has to either be a different raid or somehow that group managed to solo, and I seriously doubt that Jedi group managed to solo phase 1.
I would agree.
So that's why I'm thinking it's just to promote the Jedi.
I mean, if you look,
and the Jawa
if you look at it, basically they're at 90-something percent. They're basically a little less than 10% complete, and Qui-Gon's lost half his protection.
Yep.
Which means that you can sort of make the assumption here that this team potentially could. This team did 8% damage. It's probably max that this team could do maybe another 20% damage, maybe, and then this team would totally fall apart because at that point Qui-Gon would be gone.
Yeah.
It's just my thought. So that means that team in phase 1 potentially could maybe only do about 20-30% damage on a good day.
Mm-hmm. But that's why I'm not reading too much into the group settings.
Okay.
But that's just, I mean, we're all just kind of guessing here. And that's why I wanted to thank CG, because you just put out these little kind of things. We can have discussions and kind of be distracted on our own.
Yeah. Give us shit to talk about. What a novel concept.
Okay, so next for the raid. Teams, what do we want to talk about next about this potential new raid?
Well, do we want to just go into Grande's little thing here? Let me and now
I think Grande is like chomping at the bit.
And now it's time for Grande's deep thoughts. Let's bring Grande back up. Okay,
deep
Grande.
thoughts.
We put the raid. We changed the image in your beard.
We changed the image of my beard to what? I don't see it yet. I'm sure I'll laugh my heart out.
Well, yeah. Last week was the Night Sisters, so now Grande's deep thoughts continues. Go ahead.
So we kind of already talked about what the damage is from that one little gift that we saw. I think that's hugely important. I think that it's also important that if we look at what they're saying the requirements are for if we look at at the normal phase where it says that you get 5 attempts and you have these characters, you need to be gear 8 with Mark 5 mods. Typically what we found from the Rancor, I'm trying to extrapolate from the Rancor into the new raid. We basically said that if you could complete a Rancor raid before 1 reset, then you were ready to go on to the heroic difficulty. I think that the same thing could be true for this raid, or at least extrapolating, which means that in order to beat the heroic difficulty, you are going to need 5 teams of level 80, gear 10 or better, with Mark 5 mods on them. Right. That means that you need to have a total of around 1,250 gear 10 or better with Mark 5 mods on them at level 80. I will tell you that my guild is nowhere close to that. If that is what is actually needed, we are in for either a bunch of people hopefully have been hoarding gear and they start slapping gear on characters to get them up to gear 10.
I have been.
but that means everybody needs 25. That's a bunch. That's a whole bunch. I don't know if everybody's there yet.
A plethora.
I think that is what needs to happen in order to be there. It is a very hard. We have all gotten lulled into a false sense of security based on the fact that if you were running a Tebow team, everybody could do it relatively easily. I'm not so sure that's the case. I will tell you that that we have recommended to our guild members that they not work on anything that is not putting a character to gear 11 or gear 10 for this raid.
Yeah, I mean, I've been working on Amagundi because I know he's going to be an essential character, but I've been farming the hell out of Jawas. So I just have I'm almost done with Jawa, but I have Jawa Engineer, which is going to be the tough one because I've got the other ones done already. So it's just going to be a matter of
the other thing that they seem to be telling us is that, and they've been telling us for a long time, whether it's on the Plo Koon table with the fact that you need to have intelligence characters, you need to have agility characters, you need to have strength characters, or whether it's in mod challenges, the developers tend to give us little clues, right? When they release the mod table and the mod challenges, and you had to have 5 of each tribal synergy, I think they're telling us this on purpose.
Yeah.
And so what I think is that tribal synergies are going to be really, really important. Um, I think that that you're gonna want a team that's all Jedi. You're gonna want a team that's all
Same faction,
Jawas.
yeah.
You're gonna potentially.
Sorry about that, folks. We had a little bit of a crash there. So go ahead, Ron, continue your point while I get
Okay,
everything
okay.
set back up.
Yeah, so I think there are some tribal synergies here that are going to work. Another thing is, let's look at where we're actually fighting. From all of the scenes that I've seen where we're actually fighting, I think that it's highly likely that where we are fighting is we are fighting at the first battle of Geonosis.
Mm-hmm.
And if we look at the first battle of Geonosis, and you look at the fact that Jawas were good, and you look at the fact that that Jedi's were good. The only reason I think Jawas are good in this raid, if you kind of try to take it back to lore, is the fact that anytime there was a spaceship crash, the Jawas were there to go rip everything off the spaceship.
Right.
So I think that's why Jawas work in this one. The other thing that worked as far as at the first battle of Geonosis was clones. Clones and Jedi's are what saved the first battle of Geonosis. So I think it's highly likely that clones will also be the clone synergy as a whole will be good in this raid.
Yeah.
If we try to follow what we're doing now, are we at the first battle of Geonosis? I don't know. I don't remember Cliffs being at the first battle of Geonosis.
Yeah.
But
They
but
were,
Grievous was there, and the AAT was there. So
yeah, they didn't really tell us, where exactly we were fighting.
that's just kind of my general thought on the deal. Besides that, I'll tell you what my guild is doing is we're working incredibly hard to work with individuals to make sure that all of the individuals are doing whatever they can. And then we've kind of got a deal where when the raid opens up, we're all gonna kind of practice for a few minutes. The leadership is going to spend 15 minutes trying to figure out what the best teams are. And then we're going to quickly try to work and figure out who has those teams in their roster,
Yeah.
so they can go in. We're gonna open it and not post damage, and then work it out, and then throw people in, get them through phase one. Once we get through phase one, we'll all sit there and play for another 15-30 minutes, then figure out the teams that work the best in phase two, and then push that ahead. I know there are a lot of questions in here when someone's asking about, is it going to be so hard there's going to be a rage quit? Absolutely, it's going to be so hard there's going to be rage quitting. There's always rage quitting whenever something changes in the game. That's just part of what happens.
Unfortunately,
you will have people quit. We had people quit when guilds got started back on April 17th because they couldn't handle in-game chat.
right.
We had people that quit because of the Rancor raid. We had people that quit because of protection. We had people that quit. We had people that quit over over mods.
Mods was more deserved though.
We had people that quit over that quit over Yoda, over the Yoda event getting nerfed. We had people that quit over all different kinds of things. People will quit over this new raid. Absolutely, it's going to happen. Just be prepared for it. Be prepared for potentially for they're trying to not make there be strife in the guild by having these two different kind of coins. I don't know about everybody else's guild, but my particular guild, we have we have some people who we brought into the guild because they were friends of friends, and because we said, hey, look, you can raid with your friend, but their rosters are way far apart.
Yeah.
What if the guild can't complete the heroics because of this, and we're to the normals? Are we going to lose the top end of our guild because the top end of our guild wants to be running heroics, and the bottom end of our guild just wants to hang out and be friends? I think that even though they brought in the two different types of credits, the two different types of currency, there is still going to be strife within the guilds. Just be prepared for it. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to ease us through this situation, but I think that the more we talk about it, the more we communicate, the great job that I think EA did and that CG did in showing us this stuff, showing us enough information that we can pull out of it, the better off we'll be.
Exactly.
I really think them making this post was huge.
Yeah.
We never got a post like this before. All we got was a freaking door halfway opening on a 15-second commercial.
Or we got the drop mic about ships.
Exactly. The more information, they did an amazing job by giving us as much information as they did. I hope they're learning. I want them to learn. I want them to be able to do that stuff. Anyway, so then the next part we need to go to. So we've kind of gone.
Can I disagree with you first?
Absolutely,
Yes,
you
get
could
him.
disagree.
Get him,
Please.
Finn.
I don't agree with the whole 5-group synergy thing at all.
Really?
Go for it. I
I
gotta fix
think-
the meta report thingy. Go ahead.
I think that they actually, I mean, so there are events that have led you into farming different factions. I don't really see how you can make any group of 5 characters really all that feasible. But I think what they did is make you think outside of your normal group. And in order to try and farm different factions, you're looking at the ones that give you the most benefit. And as a result, you end up getting more groups that have different talents that actually merge together well. Like, for example, a lot of these have a bunch of different ads. I think AoE stunning is going to be really useful.
Sure.
If you think about Jawas, you have Jawa, you have Dachka, you also have Emperor Palpatine if you were able to get him, and you have Ugnaught, right? You have 3 pretty solid AoE stunners, 2 of which are Jawa. Now, if you're trying to farm Jawa in order to get the crit damage challenges, your thought process is going to be, which ones do I want to farm? So if you're farming, for example, Jawa Engineer, you're building a droid team, right, for Arena. But if you look at the Jawas as a whole, only Jawa regular Jawa Scavenger, and Dachka really have anti-droid abilities. Nebbit and Jawa Engineer are pro ally droids. They both work with droids, but one goes, 3 of them are strong against droids, and 2 of them help your own droids. So I mean, they give you the additional like bonuses that you get if you do a full Jawa group, but I don't really see how a full Jawa group is really going to be all that feasible. Kind of the same thing with the Jedi.
Or I mean, or even with Ugnaught, for example. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Ugnaught doesn't have any kind of faction, so he can kind of fit in wherever. I'm a Gundy is anti-droid, and you could put him on a solid team like with Kit Fisto and with Ayla for sure, because then you have a pretty solid counter squad. I mean, they put Qui-Gon and they put Yoda in there. I'm not sure how useful they're going to be. It seems like Jedi Knight Anakin might be better.
I would agree with that. The Jedi Knight Anakin will be better.
And then you don't have any kind of AoE stunner. So then you're better off putting in something like a Jawa or a Dachka, and then you can provoke the Jawa or the Dachka ability, or like the Jawa normal
the
bonus
buff
that they're giving that allows you to call to assist a random character.
Yeah.
So like I think they're pushing you towards farming characters outside of your kind of comfort zone with all of the different things that they're doing. You have the scoundrels that give you a lot of AoE, especially if you get like Lando, you get the burst damage with Biggs and Wedge, which could be useful in here. I still think that the team compositions, though, that you're going to form for these different phases are going to be ability-based more than just the class-based.
Interesting. The other thing, too, that's here is effectively we have droids in phase 1. Last time I checked, a tank was not a droid. Then we have droids again in phase 2, and then it looks like we have 2 super battle droids in phase 4. They say that, but you don't see them. All you see is the tank again, which means that potentially phase 1 or phase 3 would be better for your anti-droid characters.
Yeah.
Are we sure, by the way, that the AAT isn't a droid?
We're not, but I'm just saying it's a tank. Is it a droid?
Yeah.
Well, in that last one, in the phase 4 animated GIF, they actually have like a droid popping out of the
it looks like it. Yeah, I know it's not an HK-47, but it looks like an HK-47.
Yeah, it's a weird droid, but they have it popping out.
It's that commander droid.
Yeah.
I mean, are we fighting him? It says here so in phase 4 it says the primary target is the tank hull. Secondary targets are the main turret, left gun, right gun, and B2 battle droids. That that to me means that in phase 4, your droid team would work against the Super B2 battle droid. I think it's a stretch to say that a tank is a droid. That's just me. A tank is a tank.
You're probably right. It's unclear, like you were saying.
It's unclear. It's the same way it's unclear on how the heck you get tickets. It's
there's still a lot.
At some point we are like running down a rabbit hole to the point where it's like we're gonna look back on this video in 2 months and laugh at ourselves for how silly we sound.
Were those bastards?
For how stupid. I mean, it's the same way on team comps that we thought worked for the Rancor. Do you remember when we thought Lobot might actually be useful against the Rancor?
I still don't think Lobot is terrible.
He's not good either.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not bad in phase 1 if you don't have any other kind of dispeller.
Yeah. There are very few individuals that I could think of who would actually have Lobot and not have Akbar or Ewok Elder.
Right.
It's a highly unusual.
I had none of them, but I wasn't going to go for Lobot over the other two, but I really had none of them before the raid started.
Right. I'm just going to say that it's a highly unusual individual that would be able to do that.
Yeah.
I know a few of them, but it's pretty rare. Yeah. But you would probably do better to have Rex. Rex dispels.
You're right, but that's also a pay to play, so it's not.
It is a pay to play character.
Easy to get. Yeah.
Now the next thing. Do we have anything else we want to talk about the post on the official forums?
No, I don't.
No, I think we went through it pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the next thing to look at, as part of more of Grande Patron's deep thoughts, is on Reddit. On Reddit, there was a data mine post, and on that data mine post, they kind of show you a little bit about what's going on. I don't know if you can pull up the data mine post.
No, we crashed last time, so just tell us.
Well, it's huge. It's on Reddit. If anybody wants the data mine, now the data mine post is slightly old, but the guy goes through there. It's and you can actually read what works and what doesn't work.
Grande Trump is going to tell us.
And what you can earn from the raid and what you can't. The rewards. The data mine does not mention anything about character rewards, and I think that they've changed this since when this came out on October 8th because I want to say that there was a interview with EA Jesse where he said Mark 6 mods were not going to be part of the rewards. And since Mark 6 mods are not part of the rewards, in the last data mine I saw, it did show Mark 6 mods.
So
my guess
is actually on the forums. I don't know if he said it in the Galactic War Report, but it was.
He said that Mark 6 mods were not going to be part of the rewards. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
He said,
I'll
get the actual question here. 1 second.
So
but he actually posted it inside.
What it means is that all of this rooted information is subject to change. But I will tell you that there are some interesting abilities, like for example, Grievous gains 25% speed for each defeated ally. Which means once you go downhill, you're going to go downhill fast. There are some there are some interesting, very very interesting abilities on Magna Guard. There are some interesting abilities on the tank, on the left.
What do you think about
right
this, Grande? If you put a shock on Grievous.
Well, let's talk about shock on Grievous. Can you shock the captain in the current raid?
I don't know. I actually haven't used Palpatine in.
I haven't either.
I will answer the question for you.
Because Grande, of course,
you can't shock him.
Okay.
I don't think that these abilities are. It's the same reason. Do not expect the abilities to work the same way. I mean, expose doesn't work the same way.
Yeah.
I think if everything doesn't work the same way, then you cannot expect Grievous in the game to act like Grievous in the raid.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be even close to the same. So I think that there's going to be some huge differences there. Just like the Gamorrean guard that you can get does not act like the Gamorrean guard that you have in the Rancor raid.
Well, of course. If he
Uh,
did, that would be pretty pimp. Time to farm the hell out of him.
Yeah.
Who's echoing? God damn it, you guys.
Is
I
it
don't
me?
think it's me.
Hold
not
on.
me.
Let me lower my mic. Is that better?
Yeah, I think it's
I
better.
think so.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
This wouldn't be a RSK string with.
Yeah, as long as it's not me this time.
Yeah, that's what I say. Nah, it's not Finn. Nah.
So there are anyway, there's some interesting dynamics involved in this raid. If you want more information, I can share with you, or you guys can do your own research. You guys might come up with different ideas than I do on what's actually happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. That was thoughts.
With Grande Patron.
Do you want to share some of the major ones though? Not just the ones that aren't up to date anymore.
Share what?
Oh,
from the data mine. Are there any big things that you noticed?
The speed.
Yeah, speed.
The character speed is probably the largest one. You know, these characters get a huge amount of speed, and then they get speed buffs when other things happen. Here's another one: 100% crit chance, a plus 100% crit chance on the morale ability, according to the
but morales are for us, right?
Yeah, you get now that's on this. This is against the AAT ability set, unique abilities.
Right, but isn't that what I mean? If I'm not mistaken,
it is. You get 100%. Yeah. So it appears as though in the second phase, this unit and all of its weapons may be attacked independently. Turn meter effects are only half of the effect against them. When the weapon system is disabled and will reboot at some time, all the weapon systems are offline simultaneously. This unit will become toppled and grant morale bonuses for the attacking party, which means you get 100% crit chance. All units gain 25% speed, and attacking units that were the primary target of the main cannon will survive. That survive will get 100% crit damage. When the AAT recovers from topple, the morale boost is lost, and the AAT and its side cannons gain 100% turn meter. So be ready when the daggum thing comes out of that it's kind of gonna suck.
Yeah.
There's other ones. They start out with offense up in phase 2. I mean, they start out with offense up.
Damn.
Plo Koon. We need Plo Koon.
Damage. It appears as though they're gonna inflict, ability block. It appears as though there's gonna be all kinds of crazy stuff that happens. I mean, it's just, and the other thing too is that in this battle they do call it Geonosian B1 Battle Droid ability set. This inside the data mine, which is why I think this is happening at the first battle of Geonosis.
Could be. I wouldn't doubt it.
I'll leave that to you guys because I don't know the lore well enough to estimate.
Well, it's time to learn. Damn it! Read a book.
If we look at the lore, which is what we've talked about before, the big thing that everybody is talking about is what's the character that we get.
I think it's one of two. It's either going to be R2D2 or General Kenobi. I can't see them going any other direction.
Well,
right, and both of them were present.
Someone's eating vinyl hats.
Yes, I have said that my prediction is General Kenobi, based on the Radio Tatooine podcast, where they said that where they said that it would be a fan favorite character. If you go to StarWars.com, they have what's called a March Madness at StarWars.com. They've done it since 2014, and you look at basically fans vote on which character they feel like is the best character, or their favorite character, and the character that has won that is not in the game is General Kenobi. It's the only one that's won and not currently in the game. And if you look at it, Yeah, at the first battle of Geonosis, who were they going for? Effectively, General Kenobi got caught first. Then Anakin and Padme went, and they got caught. There was some shenanigans with C-3PO and with R2-D2, but
And
where
then,
C-3PO got ripped apart and R2-D2 came and saved him,
and
which means
then,
that if you, what's that?
and then,
And
They had
then
babies.
they came in, and then they came and saved him.
and
So
then.
that means that means I think we're definitely going for a light side character, and it means that our two choices potentially are C-3PO or General Kenobi or Padme, given the lore that we normally have, and it would make the most sense that it would be the first one that got caught, not the second or the third one or the fourth or the fifth one that got caught, which means it's probably General Kenobi. In my opinion, if it's General Kenobi, which character was recently reworked? That was the last character that got reworked was who?
Anakin.
I believe that when the raid comes out, there potentially is another is Anakin's abilities will change again, and there will be a synergy
not.
between and there will be a synergy
Oh, synergy.
between and there will be a synergy between General Kenobi and Anakin, similar to the synergy between Wedge and Biggs.
I would rather them change the synergy with Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon has become somewhat useless in the game. I would rather them have a Qui-Gon and
Wouldn't it be cool if there was a three-way synergy
Yeah.
between? Oh, that sounds nice, a three-way. But wouldn't it be nice
And
if there was
now,
a
deeper thoughts with Grande Patron.
if there was
We've gone too deep. We've gone too deep.
When that's what she said.
Oh,
This is what I meant.
So if there's a synergy between Qui-Gon, General Kenobi, and Anakin, and then you had Biggs and Wedge on the team, that would be super sick. And here's another reason why I think it's going to be a Jedi is because Jedis get a buff during the raid, and because when was the last time we had a new Jedi introduced into the game?
When was the last time anybody said we needed more Jedis in the game?
you.
I'm just telling you, that's what I think it is. I think that having
you're probably right.
Yeah.
having
We just don't
R2D
need
having
more
R,
Jedis.
right having R2D2 in the game would be creating a new faction, which would be light side droids, and most people would not go for light side droids.
Matsu said in the chat.
I know it.
That's what she said. What the fuck?
It's so funny, the delay, and they're typing in the delay. It's so funny to see the delay when they actually see that stuff.
I think,
Okay.
So I think you're probably right that it is going to be General Kenobi. My only thing is that so far they've shown us two characters that they're working on, and they haven't really released them, which is R2-D2, and then the weird thing of Wicket.
Now
that they put
let's
in
talk
the-
about Wicket. Let's
in
talk
the
about
game.
Wicket for a moment. Why did they put Wicket on the screen at Star Wars Europe?
I think it might be an accident because they showed everything else
No,
on Chirpa.
it was not an accident. Who was the host of the meet and greet?
Yeah,
Come
it
on,
was the
come
dude
on,
that played Wicket.
I don't
remember
remember
his name,
at the
but-
top of my head.
It was
I
the
don't-
guy. It was
It
the
was
guy.
the
It was
dude
the
that
guy
played
that. It was the dude that played Wicket. So they and it was a completely
Warwick
unfinished.
Davis.
And
Yeah.
it was a completely unfinished character, and it was
Unfinished,
done
It was Chirpa.
exactly. Basically, they threw a skin on top of Chirpa
That's why
and
that
put him
does
out
make
there.
sense.
Yeah,
And
but
so
then to call it Wicket is really kind of lame.
they did that. They did that for the hundreds of people that were there, or thousands of people that were there that don't play the game. It's okay. Let it
but
go.
Then if they play the game looking for Wicket, they're gonna get pissed off. I'm
Now-
playing the game and I was pissed off.
Now
want Wicket.
I will tell you that Keggy, who's in chat right now, has shown pre-launch literature that shows a cutscene of the beginning that shows a General Kenobi on the far side, and he's one of the only light side characters that's there.
Yeah, but
and
they've
so
also
it's-
shown Jedi Luke in multiple places in the game too.
Yeah.
Jedi Luke could easily be a character that we get another way. I mean,
I don't think he's
it-
coming
it could
here,
be a
but I'm just saying
it could be a
that-
Palpatine event. Who knows? But Jedi Luke makes no sense in any version
No.
where, and EA Jesse has said The way you're going for Han Solo shards when you go against the Rancor is the same way as when Luke and Leia went to go save Han Solo from Jabba the Hutt. I think that it follows in the same path whenever you're talking about this raid and what our character's going to be.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's going to be Jedi Luke. I think Jedi Luke might be released with the actual episode 8.
I want OG Luke. I want the gray bearded, badass looking Luke from the
They'll probably release some kind of lightsaber wielding Luke, probably with episode 8.
It may just
but I think it's either going to be.
we still need Rey with a lightsaber. I mean, there's all kinds of characters.
Rey still hasn't.
And
episode with a lightsaber.
Yeah, episode 8, she'll have a new outfit and she'll have a lightsaber. I showed Finn a picture from wrap up from episode 8, and it's a picture of her in her new outfit with the blue lightsaber. So yeah, they'll have a new look for her.
Who knows? It might be Jar Jar Binks, and we might be.
How dare you, sir, bring up that name in this stream? You have destroyed and sullied the sanctified. We do. The first rule of Reality Scoot Gamers is.
Misa think that you piss off a ranger.
Misa think you should shut your cake hole, Finn.
Oh my gosh.
Even, if you say that name 3 times, he will bear behind you, and then you get to deal with him the rest of your life.
But doesn't that mean you actually said his name 6 times?
3 times? Why would you say 6 times?
Because then you go Jar Jar, Jar Jar, Jar Jar.
His name is Jar Jar, not... You have brain damage.
What?
Complete brain damage. How can
you said Jar now 6 times?
You have to be in the bathroom looking in the mirror with the lights off. That's the way it works. Come on, you've played this game before, so
who knows who it's going to be? We're all making semi-educated.
By saying it's a fan favorite, I think they've narrowed it down. I don't think it's reasonable to go outside of either General Kenobi or R2-D2. Yeah. Honestly,
totally agree with that.
Yeah, from episode 2, that makes sense. All right.
Unless they throw in Jedi Luke, but that doesn't seem feasible with what the content of all of this is.
No,
I mean, he is a fan favorite, but it wouldn't make any sense. Those are the only 2 that make sense.
I think so. All right, let's move on to the meta report.
Let's do that. That makes perfect sense because you actually have a visual for that rather than Infinity and I just arguing with each other.
That's right. So
yeah, that's the fun of this.
This week's meta report's brought to you by the letters G and P for Grande Patron.
Yes.
Grande Patron Tequila, your 5th best choice in tequila, and he's okay with that. All right, so for the leaders this week, I don't see any change than previous week. Lando Calrissian is number 1. Let's see, Rex is number 2. Wedge Antilles is number 3. Emperor Palpatine still number 4. HK-47 number 5. Jedi Knight or Akbar. Admiral Akbar's come up now. There's a change. He's Admiral Akbar's 6th. Jedi Knight Anakin is 7. Obi-Wan Kenobi Old Ben is number 12. Or number 8. Qui-Gon Jinn is 9th, and Captain Phasma is 4. Out of those, what sticks out to you 2?
I mean,
the rise of Akbar.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling you.
It's a trap saying.
I mentioned this on a previous stream too. Like, if you're facing a fast Lando team, and you're trying to get a fast team also, and you're running a similar squad, Akbar lead gives you an extra 5 speed that can make the difference in the whole match. So it seems like that's what's moving.
DM in the chat said the new character is Luke's right hand.
It has both light side and dark side synergy.
Jesus, we'll just leave it at that. Oh God,
you're still in the deeper, way too deep thoughts of Grande Patron, right?
I know. Oh, went down just right into the gutter.
All right, so interesting. I like the fact that we're seeing the rise of Akbar again. It's been a long time, and everybody deserves their second day in the sun.
Yeah, that's right.
It's interesting that before it was with Stormtrooper Han and Leia, and now it's with Wiggs and Lando.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
Very nice. And if we go to the top characters, we see that Lando's still number 1, Stormtrooper Han's number 2. Three still Jedi Knight Anakin. Biggs and Wedge are 4 and 5. They're tied. Emperor Palpatine's dropped down to 5th. Sunfax and Rex are both next to each other. I mean, really, they're literally one off each other. 7 and 8. Qui Gon's 9, 10 is Royal Guard. So it looks like some more people are starting to get Sunfac and Rex because that's a big increase from the previous week by about 50. So about 25% increase for those two. Emperor Palpatine's dropped, and we see Biggs and Wedge still holding strong. And then some of your main tunes: Lando, Stormtrooper Han, and Jedi Knight Anakin. Outside the top 10, we've got BT's Super Battle Droid and Shore Troopers still making its way up, but only 11%. I think 14% have him as a part of their team. Any thoughts on that, fellers?
Not anything terribly surprising.
Yeah, it makes sense to me that that's the team. I think the reason why you're seeing the Wedge and Sunfac, I've seen it a little bit on my shard. I think people have been buying them 2 shards at a time and 3 shards at a time out of shipments. The
I
people
haven't
who
seen
missed
them.
it, the people who missed it in the rhodiums are
Yeah.
finally getting them all the way,
Yeah.
or getting them. And I think that's really what you're seeing there is basically people did the slow farm way, which was 2 shards at a time.
Yeah.
That's a long freaking grind. Oh my gosh, that's got to be a long grind.
Yeah.
My one prediction, though, moving forward, slowly but surely, I think we'll see that Qui-Gon, he has 158 people right now that use him. B2 is at 126. I think you're going to see people switching. So I think you're going to see a drop in Qui-Gon numbers and a rise in B2 as people start finishing off B2.
Totally agree.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for the meta report. Let's get out of that and let's do some gameplay and answer some questions. What do you guys say?
Absolutely.
All right, so Ben, if you have questions, start popping them now. If you haven't put any in already,
I'm gonna scroll all the way to the top.
Okay.
And try to see if I can find some questions that we had here. So Jennifer had a question.
Sure.
Which is, so this is one of the first questions, which is, why don't we get daily guild bank coins from GW arena challenges, events, and raids? I have no idea why we don't do that. That would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it? Because it's something else.
We don't want to do that.
Well, I think, it's hard to say for sure, but I think we need a better voice on this. So we're trying to figure out whether or not guild bank coins should be available in other aspects. What do you think about it, Lampshade?
I think that sounds like a wonderful idea.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
The world of sports is getting turned upside down between Ugnaughts and Jar Jar Binks. I love you, buddy. It's been too long.
Really?
Hey, just remember one. Hey, Lampshade, I got one thing for you. Whatever happens, I want to see you solo the raid with Chief Nebbit lead.
You're not living that down. You know that.
Oh man, I'll tell you what. I need to live better on off an iPhone. That just killed me. TiVo has been, the Ben Roethlisberger to my league, man. It's just killing me.
So then, actually, it was Lampshade here that asked this question: is will this difficulty potentially lead to rage quit from community members? You're a guild leader. Do you actually see this as being a problem if it's too hard?
See, and that's where the community is a fragile animal, to be honest with you. And it's just not as solid as it once was, where people seem to be a little bit more tolerant of everything. And it seems that people have kind of gone to this place where if it's not the way they want or it's not easy, they kind of start feeling like I'm the victim and start bailing out. So I'm a little bit afraid if they bring this rate in, and it's based off of some of the things you were saying, GP, where it sounded like it would be pretty darn hard.
Yeah.
I could easily see some kind of mass exodus. I remember when I used to have all the buddies on my server and I knew the top 5 all the time. It's gotten to the landscape of I don't know any of them anymore, and I'm afraid that with such a jump to 85, that we're going to see an exodus again, and we're going to have to see some type of organic growth again. That's just my 2 cents. Hopefully, it's not as bad, and maybe there'll be a quick patch. But if it's as hard as you think, TP, and I'm kind of in your boat on this, I'm going to be seeing a lot of rage quit Leroy Jenkins type stuff going on.
I don't think they're going to leave the game, though. I think you're right about the dynamics of a guild, and I think it's important that whatever guilds are formed right now, they need to make sure they have communication, they talk about what their plan is, and figure those things out as soon as the raid comes out. My fear isn't so much an exodus from the game because it's too hard. I think it's going to be kind of like, I think what both of you are implying a little bit, which is that you'll have people leaving their current guild for a different guild, hoping for like greener pastures elsewhere.
Right.
But if the raid is really that hard, it's not going to really make much of a difference. I
Well,
think it's going to be wishful thinking a little bit.
We haven't even looked at potential rewards, right? I mean, could somebody who was in the bottom four, because rewards are basically be 1, 2, and 3 get rewarded for being 1, 2, and 3, and then spots 4 through spots 50 get the same reward.
Right.
If that's the case, would somebody in spots 4 through 50 running a heroic do better to be spot 1, 2, or 3 in a guild running normal, or vice versa? With somebody that's running
you won't get shards in normal.
I get it, but what if you don't care about the character?
Well, I mean, even right now, I mean, you'll have to compare a little bit, but I think if you compare, the only difference they said is going to be for character shards. They didn't say that the rest of the stuff would be different.
We have no idea if it's going to be the same reward.
Well, they specifically said raid character shards in his thing.
Right. So we have no idea if there are multiple tiers for everything else, or
I mean, based on what he wrote, it looks like they're only changing. He said we've also made adjustments to the character raid character shard payout.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say that they changed any of the other things, so I think everything else is still going to be tiered, which I personally am fine with. I'm fine with tiering like the guild currency, or your guild currency and the credits and all that kind of stuff. The shards, though, is the only thing he said that they made adjustments to.
Right. So
the one
Go ahead.
thing that I got a question for you, GT. I mean, with your guild, getting those shards for the 1, 2, and 3, and then everybody else gets the same. I mean, you've got some big players up in your guild, and only 3 of them are going to get to come away with like real progress. Is that
right.
Is that going to hurt?
No, I mean, look, I mean, is everybody going to be very competitive for those first 3 spots? Absolutely. I know typically the way it works in our guild, which is once somebody has finished the character, they're pretty much okay with taking a lower position and letting someone else take a higher position so that we can have more people in the whole guild be successful. So you will probably end up with, for the first 4 or 5 months of the new raid, until those people get it unlocked, where they will go crazy, and then effectively they will slow down when the rest of us catch up. That's typically been the way it is. Most people are pretty cool with stuff like that. You know, even in the rank core raid, you know, you typically have people that already have a regular Han Solo finished off, where they have them you know, they take a position at spot 10 or lower. That's kind of been our typical rule, is take a spot of 10 or lower, so that way other people who don't have him can get him.
So I did come across a question. If you guys, you need
I found one here. Shadow Val asked one is, are they going to rework Lobot and have him have the synergy with Lando? No one has ever mentioned a rework of Lobot, but that would be sick if they did. Anybody else think they're gonna have that?
With the droids, I don't think that the time is now for Lobot. I do see, with the progression of Lando, them building a better synergy between the two, but
I would love to see a Bespin synergy where you basically have Lando, Ugnut, and Lobot have a synergy of some type. And they have some other Bespin characters that we play against in PvE. I think that'd be pretty sweet to have a Bespin synergy.
Oh, completely. I did also come across another question earlier this morning. A couple people were asking with the launch of a new raid, the leaderboard. Are they going to actually start awarding guilds as a group for being on the leaderboard? And how is the leaderboard going to be effective with two different raids being?
I have no idea, and most people know that my guild, Team Skunk Omega, is going for rank 1 on the leaderboard. We have no idea. Effectively, we have to do a bunch of things very, very quickly. We have to understand the new raid, figure it out, get the mechanics right, get the right people, move the right people around, or get them to the right, get them figured out correctly, so that we can continue to try to maintain our rank on the leaderboard for rank 1 for me to shave my beard. And that's going to be a lot to go on if this raid drops tomorrow, which we've seen a lot. I mean, if you go back in time, big major drops have happened. It appears to me to be sometime between Tuesday and Thursday. They typically don't drop something on us on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. So that means they got effectively one more day. And then after that one more day, we're pretty much in the clear until the 25th, 26th, and 27th. And then after that, we're in the clear until the 1st of November.
Well, you heard what their strategy was on those drops, right?
Yeah, you mean where they're going to max out guild coin for both of them first when we go in?
No, not that one. Basically, what they do is they wait for this show to start airing, and then they put out the drops. It's based off Affinity's theory of mechanics. It's basically when Theory and Ranger get together, when addressed to GP, they usually do the drops during the show. I think we're like 3 for 5 so far with drops during the show. It's pretty impressive.
If that happens, we more than welcome EHSC to come on and actually be live during the drop. Just throwing that out there.
Yes.
I'm just saying that sounds like a great hook for an episode right there.
That's right.
But to go with what you were mentioning, Lampshade, so first, with regards to the character shards you were mentioning, I think a lot of it depends on how many character shards 4 through 50 gets. It's not necessarily going to be stifled progress. I mean, they could make it so 4 through 50 gets like 3 shards, and then 1, 2, 3 get like 10, 9, and 8 or something like that. That would be kind of silly.
That would be very silly.
Yeah. My guess is it's going to be probably 5 for 4 through 50, and then maybe like 8, 7, 6 or something like that. Maybe 10, 9, 8. But I think
10,
5
9,
is
8
probably
makes more
a good
sense.
number for it.
Yeah. So we had a question here for Lampshade from Emsa Kasky. Said, which Jawa to use as leader? Who do you think they should use as leader there, Lampshade, if they're running a full Jawa team?
That's going to be hands down for Nevitt right there.
You don't. So you're not going Dachka. You're not going to go Dachka lead on that one.
No,
Okay.
to be honest, I think Dachka really puts a pretty good team together. I'm just playing off my draft pick. You know, I'm going to hang on to him just like I think Tebow's going to be my backup quarterback next year. So, you know, I think Darcia really does better than Nevitt. I think Nevitt is a better support. I will say for just using the challenge alone, you can pretty much make them interchangeable. But I think once we get the raid, if you're going to go Jawa strong, yeah, Darcia is probably going to be the one you want to lead with Nevitt more of in the support role. So, but you know, if you're drafting a team of 5 for PvP against GP Ranger, you need to have your lead be Nevitt. So,
there you go. That's right, because we're in a Final Fantasy Football League together. Fantasy Football League together, and you know who my quarterback is, right? It's Eli Manning.
Nice.
Oh, which reminds me, I didn't get to showcase it today. So in a previous stream, I wore number 54 that I said was my second favorite number 54 in the NFL. Today, I'm wearing my number 1.
Vinny, I do have one question from you that comes from me.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
How many jerseys did you pack up when you went to Texas? Because I think I've seen a different jersey every show.
Yeah, I brought 4 of them, 1 for each of the streams that I'll be doing.
Good on you. Good on you. But with that, my friends, I wanted to just jump in and ask a couple real quick questions. But keep up the great work, gentlemen.
Thanks.
And that's the great Cat one himself.
Goodbye, Catman.
All
But
right.
yeah, as for the guild leaderboard, honestly, I'm kind of hoping that they don't do anything with it besides what it is right now. Um, I have a really big fear that if they start making the guild leaderboard worth a lot more than what it is, it's going to dismantle a lot of guilds. But that's just
Yeah.
my personal
I
thought.
mean, if they start giving, I mean, if they give rewards for the leaderboard, and then you've got to decide, okay, who gets the rewards? Is the people that are there on the very last day, or is it everyone who's ever been in that guild during the entire month? I mean, you could see where you get into a quagmire with that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
I mean, you know, I don't know what the right answer is.
I mean, I don't think there's a right answer. I mean, I would proceed with extreme caution if you intend on adding any value to the guild leaderboard at this point, because it will change the dynamic of guilds. Like our guild is pretty competitive. I mean, we do all the tier 7s, but we can manage every now and then without having like somebody hitting their 600 out of 600. I mean, I know right now you guys are going for the top spot, Grande.
We are.
So it makes more sense that you have a little bit more strict. But in the past, like I'm sure you've had people that maybe got like 598, 597, but they've been with the guild so long that it's not that big a deal.
I
You
mean,
try to
I
get
will.
600, but
Yeah. So here, let's have a whole conversation about 600. If someone doesn't get 600 for the month, if they miss by one coin, that means you miss one raid for the whole month. You miss a
yeah.
whole raid. One coin means everybody doesn't get an extra furnace. What's a furnace worth? Furnace is worth about $10. It's about 1,400 crystals. In order to buy 1,400 crystals, you got to spend $10. So for you doing $5.99, you basically cost everybody in the guild $10.
Maybe, but think
That's
about
that's
what it
five
would
hundred
mean on the guild
dollars.
leaderboard. Because right
I
now,
don't.
that's going to be one out of what 15, 20 raids
I'm
that you
just talking
probably do
about.
during
I'm
the
just
week.
talking about. I'm just talking about in general.
No, no, no,
In
you're right.
general,
I'm not disagreeing with that. But my problem is right now you can kind of manage that because it's one raid that you skipped, even though in the month you probably did about like 15 or 20, right? So it's not. It doesn't. It is a lot. You're right in terms of what you're missing out on. But in terms of how much you've done in the month, it's like one out of 15 raids that you would have done in the month if you did one every 2 days.
a loss of ten
Versus,
bucks. A loss of $10 is a loss of $10.
right, but what if they added more value to the guild leaderboard and ended up being a loss of like 50?
Then that would be very insane.
That's my
But
point.
but
That right
but
now I
a
think
guild can
people
have
are
more than a guild.
tolerating the 10.
A guild can have more than can have more than 50 members in it in the course of a month. A guild could have let's say 55 members or 57 members or 60 members in the course of a month. And now you're gonna say that only the ones that were there on the last day get the reward.
Which
It's
is
a
exactly why
it's a
I was saying
it's
that.
a huge can of worms. I will tell you that it should be like golf, which means everybody with the same score gets the same rank. Just like when we all do 36
Yeah.
GWs on GW day, everybody gets rank 1. Everybody right now on the leaderboard that has 2,600 points should all be rank 1. I mean, what's the difference? The difference is because somebody started their guild 5 nanoseconds before someone else. Effectively, that's the difference.
Is
That's
that?
not.
You know,
Yeah, that how you everyone has wondered how is the guild leaderboard set up. If you're in a guild that posts zeros for damage, let's say you're in a guild where everybody posts zeros. Team Skunk Omega, everybody posts zeros. Do you know that if everyone posts zeros, if everybody in the entire guild posts zeros, I will always be 7th on that leaderboard of zeros. I will always have the 7th best zero. Why is that? Because somehow there is a ranking system and my player ID starts with a number and it's numbers before letters. So I will always be 7th. So the deal is that every guild was given a sequential number, and the guild that started out as number 1 or number 2 will always be the highest, regardless of whether or not they put in more or less effort, just because their guild was started first. That seems anyway. We're getting off topic about the
Yes,
leaderboard
we
because
are.
it doesn't really It doesn't
Well,
really
the
help.
gist of this: don't add more value to the guild leaderboard.
Fair enough. Totally agree. Look, if we have something that Finity and I can agree on, typically that means it's a good thing to do. We don't agree very often, and I'm the one going for rank 1, and I'm telling you, don't put anything at the top. Okay.
Any other questions?
All right, so Jennifer is asking, does it matter where you position your tombs? So if you're still here, Jennifer, are you talking about Galactic
I think she means
War,
like
or are you
front
talking
row
about
back.
Arena?
I think she's talking about front row, back row.
Other than the leader position, I don't think it matters.
Yeah, are you talking about Galactic War or Arena though?
Well, it doesn't matter either way.
Well, in Galactic War, if you change them around afterwards, it changes who the opponent is targeting.
You're talking about the sequence rehearsal. Yes.
Yeah.
That does work.
I mean, it depends on what you're, and then everything else is superstitious.
Yeah.
So you get no benefit outside of the leader position of where you actually put your characters. But for GW, if you do a battle and you see that they're attacking a particular location, like the top left of your squad or the top right or in the front row or one of the back squads, if you switch around their position in your team, but you keep the same 5 characters, they'll actually attack the new person in that same squad usually. Sometimes they're programmed on the person. Most of the time, they're programmed on the spot. But so position can make a difference, but only when you know what the actual AI is. Outside of that, it's all just random.
And you can practice, and you already know what the rehearsed sequence is.
Oh yeah.
If you don't know what the rehearsed sequence is, in other words, changing around in PvP is not going to make a hill of beans a difference.
Man, if I had more time, I was actually going to do that one day. Just take a battle and just try to map out the entire table of play options, just to see if it ever changes. But I don't have the time for it.
Who does?
Right.
No,
Eh.
people that don't have jobs do.
See?
I need money though.
See?
like
All right. Any other questions? Good questions.
Let's see. Oh, Bastilla asked, what would you mod Kid Fisto with?
I would use mods.
What?
Just see if you paid attention.
Oh God, you've gone too deep into Grande Patron's thoughts now. You've reached the core of nothingness.
Did you? I just love that 3-second delay where Finn was like, "Wait, what?"
Like, did he really say he's gonna mod Kid Fisto with mods?
Hook, line, and sinker.
Ugh.
Oh God. Go ahead, Finn. What would you use to mod Kid Fisto with?
So it depends. So I have to look at Kid Fisto here on SWGOH really quick. Do you have him?
Yeah, I can pull him.
Only because, so the one thing is, I did calculations earlier, and in terms of maximizing damage, you get maximum damage if you use one force set, either offense or crit damage, and then for the other 2 you put crit chance. In order to figure out maximal damage, if your crit chance is above 40% with all of your mods, crit damage does more damage on average. If you have less than 40% chance crit chance, then offense up does more damage. So with Kid Fisto, especially since he'll counterattack a lot, I think having a high crit chance with high crit damage is probably the way to go. But if you're not able to get up to that 40%, then I would just stack offense and just have a lot of base damage increase. He's more, I think he's probably going to be more of like a counterattack character.
Yeah.
His speed is
Awful.
okay.
80.
Obviously, you want to put as much speed on him as you can. You would still go with the speed primary on the arrow. You would still try to get the speed secondaries and all that kind of stuff. But if you're asking about the mod sets, I would probably go with 2 crit chance, and then if you have more than 40% crit chance, then you would go with crit damage, otherwise offense.
Yep. That sounds good. Grande, do you have any way you would do it?
You never go wrong by modding for speed. Speed secondaries and tons of crit damage and tons of crit chance.
Yeah. Can't go wrong. It's all about the speed. Awesome. All right. Any other questions?
I'm trying to scroll through all these. I think we got
all of them.
all of them. Yeah.
All right. So with that, let's go ahead and wrap up the stream. We want to thank everybody for there tonight that were participating. We covered a lot of ground. If you have questions, we will be in the Rebel Discord. I will not be in the Rebel Discord tonight, but we always get in afterwards. Just got too much stuff going on. But Grande, Finn, you will be there, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I'll be
Okay,
there
good.
for a little bit.
So they'll be in there. We just like to hang out, have a good time. Unfortunately, I've just got too much going on tonight for me to be jumping
Yep.
in.
I gotta run, go do one thing, and then I'll be there.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
So come join us in the Rebel. Finn's about to put all that information out, but thank you all for coming. Remember, like and subscribe. We really appreciate everybody's support. Like the video, bring feedback. We really like getting that. So by all means, make comments, like the videos, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to turn it over to Finn, and he can break it down for you where you can find all this good stuff.
All right. So if you guys liked our video, please make sure to subscribe so you guys can get notifications about whenever we post new videos and when we have new streams. Check out our merchandise page. It's cafepress.com/realityskewedgamers. Ranger and I only have a $1.01 upcharge on all of the items, and that's only in order to fund some of the fun things like we do, like the butt sock song. We don't take any of the money. We spend it on other things for the actual stream. So the more we have, the more fun things we can produce, because Ranger and I are limited in our talents. So sometimes we have to go to sites like Fiverr in order to find people that are more talented than ourselves in order to get some fun stuff up for you guys. Check out our website, realityskewedgamers.blogspot.com. And we have different posts up there. I've been really busy, so I've been a little bit slow to post on there, just letting you guys know, but I do intend on starting to post a little bit more starting next week when I've freed up a little bit more. Subscribe to our Twitter and our Facebook page to get the updates also. And in our YouTube description, you'll see that there's a link for the Rebel Base Discord. Hop on there, have a chat with us. You may even be like Jennifer and find yourself a new guild to hang out with. So definitely come and check us out, and hope to see you guys in the after party.
All right. On behalf of Reality Skewed Gamers, me, Finn, and Grani, thank you all, and we'll see you afterwards. Everyone have a good night, and thank you for being here.